Alright, good evening everyone. This video is going to serve as a follow-up to my Respecting Yourself How to Be a Circadian Dork video, which I made a year or so back, and I've learned a few new things since then. So I mentioned in the video that it was awful advice to get sun in the morning or evening, and I just want to clarify that. I've got a few questions about it. It actually, what I meant by that is it's not the best time to get, if that's the only sun you're getting of the day. I don't recommend that you do it just in those hours because it's not the full spectrum. You don't get your UVB, that sort of thing. But it actually is important. It's actually more important than I realized to get morning sun from 6 to 10 a.m. at least on your eyeballs, if not anywhere else, because that's what really starts your dopamine cycle for your body, so that your body has a good dopamine supply for the rest of the day, so that you're not somebody who's constantly pounding coffees or eating junk food or doing whatever else it is that we do to get through the day, but not necessarily thrive through the day. So if you want to thrive through the day, you want to be getting a little bit of sun in the morning. Obviously, the more of your body that's exposed, the better. So yeah, other than that, also wanted to mention that the time of day that you go to sleep is very crucial. So depending on the time of year it is, and depending on if they did a time change or not, like coming up in March, we have a time change which will move 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. So for the purposes of this video, just understand that I mean the unaltered time. So when I say 10 p.m. is when you want to go to sleep, obviously come March, that's really going to be 11 p.m. But just the reason being is that the first hour of sleep from 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. is when your body really gets ready for REM sleep. You need to have that little phase beforehand. You can't just go to sleep right at 11 and jump into REM sleep. Our bodies don't work like that. So 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. is when our body gets nice and relaxed and ready to dive into that deep REM sleep where most of the deep internal cleansing happens. And so you want to go to sleep at least by 10, maybe even a little bit before would be ideal. And then from 11 p.m. till midnight, supposing you got that hour beforehand, that's when your body kicks into deep REM sleep, and that's when you're going to have the best night's sleep, be fully charged and rested for the next day. And so a lot of people aren't getting that. A lot of people stay up late because of work. I know I used to be in that boat, used to feel awful. Glad to say that's in the past now. I used to go to sleep at like 4 in the morning and wake up at midday. And constantly felt like a zombie, and it's just, if anyone's in that boat, my heart goes out to you. I hope you can find a day shift job soon, or ideally a tribe that's living off the grid and autonomously healing not just one another, but this earth, which is in dire need of that. So other than that, I wanted to just talk about some things about melatonin and how it's going to help benefit your life. If you're somebody that's healing, it's going to help you drastically, because without proper melatonin, you're not getting proper sleep, and without proper sleep, you're not getting proper recovery. So much less than just not tackling your issue, whether that's autoimmunity, cancer, painful injury that's not healing. You're also just not even healing your daily abuse, which is constantly occurring in the society, even if you're extremely diligent. We undergo lots of radiation and different things that our body needs to do its best to recharge us from every night. So if you're somebody even who is healthy and you just want to stay that way, this is also very crucial. If you're somebody who doesn't value health at all, I don't know how you found this channel. It's probably not the best one for you to be watching. But anyways, autophagy is the reason for why so many people in this country are overweight, is because they don't have the time to get their autophagy on. They don't get proper sleep, so their body doesn't have the ability to turn over the unused nutrients and to really give you that deep, restful sleep that's going to give you energy the next day, so that you're not constantly needing to go to crappy junk food and things that poison our body into energizing itself. And so basically, I used to be in the boat of most Americans where I thought it was, acceptable to kind of point fingers at overweight people. Not that I would do that, but just I understood that it was a laziness sort of deal, or it was something that people were just making poor health decisions, and it was basically their lack of self-control that got them into that boat. And so if anyone else still thinks that, just wanted to let you know that that's not the case at all. There are lots of reasons why people become overweight. It's usually a combination of lack of love, lack of information, and always a lack of sleep. And so what you want to do if you're in that boat is to focus on self-love, focus on doing everything that you can to give yourself a good, healthy, proper night's sleep, so that the next day you have your best bet, your best chance at eating properly, eating high nutrient-dense foods that'll give you energy to get through your day and give you energy to get through the next day, and next day a little bit better, a little bit easier. You don't need to focus on going to the gym. You don't need to focus on struggling or any sort of like attacking yourself, which is kind of what overweight people are told to do and often I see doing around me. And so just understand that it's not something that you did. It's something that our entire culture has done. Different people react different ways. But being overweight and starving are two different looks of the same exact thing. People who are overweight only continue to eat past the point where most of us would deem necessary, because they don't have the energy that most of us who, would be saying those things have. And so they're constantly going to the next meal, the next coffee, the next drink, whatever it is to give them energy, because God forbid you actually admit that, hey, I need some rest right now. And, I say that facetiously because, let's be real, nobody really cares to hear that. Everybody needs to pay their own way. Everyone needs to get through their job. No one's boss wants to hear that you're healing right now and that you need to go home and go to sleep a couple hours before your shift's over. We aren't treated like that. We're treated like pawns in a very, convoluted system. And so instead of pointing fingers at each other and saying that this person needs to do this or this person should work out more or this person whatever, you should study more first before saying anything like that. And first things first, if you're going to study autophagy. Autophagy is the least talked about, most important part of our health. It's what does our cellular cleanup every night. And if you just start getting that, it's going to make drastic improvements to your health. And so I just wanted to talk about some things that you can do to better your health. So let's say you're somebody who's like, oh, well, my doctor already prescribed me with melatonin supplements, so I'm not even going to look into those glasses, and why would you want to look like a dork when you could just pop a pill? That's a very American perspective, but if that is something that you've been told, I would like you to tell your doctor that Raven Health Community is where he can watch my video, and I hope that he educates himself on why he should not be prescribing exogenous melatonin to a person who is supposed to be producing that endogenously. And the reason being is, I always give this example to people because a lot of people know the steroid example. You've probably heard that people who take steroids for prolonged periods of time eventually have shrunken testicles and an inability to produce testosterone. And that's true because your body eventually gets up to a high enough testosterone amount where it doesn't think that it needs any more, and so your own supply starts to diminish. And that's a cycle that can be hard to break. And so if you are taking anything that's produced by your body, you want it to be for only very specific circumstances, and you don't want to be doing it every day because you don't want to be tricking your body into thinking that it doesn't need to do something that it obviously needs to do. And so for melatonin, it's very crucial to be allowing that to be produced by your own body, by your own pineal gland, which is also referred to as your third eye. Should be talked about more in school, but there's lots of reasons why they don't. But anyways, so let your doctor know that. I'd love to help healthcare providers get up to, date on things that they wish they probably would have learned in medical school, but they haven't for a number of reasons. Just looking at some notes, I wanted to make sure I mentioned everything. So if you do want to take something to bolster your natural supplies of melatonin, you can take MSM, which is a sulfur-based powder where you can help your body to cleanse this pineal gland of calcification. So that's something you can take just like a scoop of in your morning water, however you want to do that. Also, vitamin K2 is something that's going to help your body to put the calcium in the proper places. And so since calcium is one of the things that can clog your pineal gland, that's something to think about. Also, minimize all your interactions with fluoride. It's crucial for all sorts of reasons in your health, your thyroid health, and definitely your pineal gland. And so those are some things that you can take. I don't recommend taking melatonin by itself, just because it's something that's produced by our body, and you want that to continue to be the case. So, and if you would like to really cleanse your pineal gland, like many other organs of your body, cleanse your pineal gland using your master organ, which is your liver. And so you cleanse your liver using the tools that Andreas Moritz has taught to us all. You can Google his book, The Amazing Liver and Gallbladder Flush, and just add PDF to that title, and you'll find the free Adobe Acrobat version on Google. Or if you'd like to watch my video, I give a 30-minute breakdown of everything I think that you should know about it and where to find the contraindication section in his book so that you can read just those 10 pages and then maybe get started. And so that's also available on my YouTube channel, Raven Health Community YouTube, or you can go facebook.com/Raven Health, and it's on there. And if you can't find it, message me. I'll message it right to you. And so, yeah, your liver's your filter. So if you clean your filter, it'll clean you. That's a tool that more people should use. So check it out. It might not be for you right now, but just know that it is something that's in your toolbox. And so, yeah, for these glasses, how you basically use them is just anytime the sun goes down, you put them on. So depending on the time of year, that might be earlier or later. I know this time of year it's around like 6 I'll be putting them on. And that just simulates that you're living in nature. So I'm obviously not living in nature. I don't know if you can see here, I have some lights on for the purposes of this video. I'm looking into my screen, which I have downloaded F.lux or F.lux. That's another good way to kind of baby step your way into this sort of melatonin-inducing habit. But I suggest that you get these glasses. They are very cheap. If you're somebody who really values their health and you want to live a natural sort of life in tune with Mother Nature, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't, other than maybe you feel they look dorky, but, you know, I think looking like a dork is just lovely, but of course I am one. So, what else did I want to say? I feel like there was one other thing I wanted to mention. I don't know, maybe I covered it all. If you have any questions, feel free to put them underneath. It's the most important thing that you can do is get a good night's sleep every night. So please do it. Y'all have a good one.